Get the speaker on. We're going to call this meeting for a public hearing at this point in time, and I'll have Phil introduce the items that we're going to be hearing from the public. You will have a 3-minute time to speak, and we want you to give your name and address, and then I will flash a 1 sign when you have 1 minute left. Go ahead.
I don't think that we have a 3-minute limit on a public hearing.
Well,
Correct.
that's true.
No,
Okay, sorry.
that's not.
Thank you.
Notice of public hearing. Please take notice that the Airport Commission for the City of Portage will conduct a public hearing on Wednesday, April 19th, 2023 at 5:25 p.m. at the Portage Municipal Building, 115 West Pleasant Street, Portage, Wisconsin, to consider petitioning the State of Wisconsin Department of Transportation for state and federal aid to undertake the following development at the Portage Municipal Airport located at 1011 Silver Lake Drive, Portage, Wisconsin. Seal coat and crack fill airfield pavements, replace and relocate runway threshold lights, relocate fuel facility, construct taxiways A1 to runway 36, and relocate tie downs, clear and maintain runway approaches. All interested persons are invited to attend and present their views on the need for the proposed airport development. The public hearing shall be closed when all interested parties in attendance have had an opportunity to offer comment. Dated this 4th day of April, 2023, City of Portage, Philip Livingston, Director of Public Works. Prior to this public hearing, the city received 3 letters of support from local businesses and associations. The first letter of support was received from Jeffrey Leigel of S&L Companies, a Culver's franchise restaurant group. The second letter of support was received from Lynn Van Epps, the former CEO of Freeland Industries. And the third letter of support was received by Kyle Lewis, the Great Lakes Regional Manager of the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association.
At this time, anyone from the public may approach the podium. Please let us know your name and address and share your comments.
Good evening. I'm Jerry Blystone. Our business is at 1201 West State Highway 33. We have an auto repair shop and towing service. Our family has been involved in this since 1950. I've been involved with the airport in the city of Portage probably for about 40 years. Our business gets involved with the Portage Airport. I would like very much to see the city of Portage grow. I would like to see the airport grow. We employ about 20 employees. Throughout the year, we work for many different people in many different places. The airport also would be one of them. We have people that fly in from insurance companies that we pick up at the airport, come to our shop to look at serious accidents, serious truck wrecks and such. We also work for the Baraboo Dells Airport and the Reesburg Airport. And I would like to comment that airports are much bigger. They've kept up with the times. We do a lot more work in those areas. I feel that the city of Portage, at some point in time, if we could get things in order, to have a larger airport would be a wonderful thing. But the things that are needed at the airport right now will require some work, require labor. All of us are looking for the city of Portage to grow. That means we need work and we need more labor for the people that live in this city. I completely support the fact that we would seal coat, do some work on the runways, do some work on the lights, keep the present airport that we have functioning with hopes and prayers going to the area that someday, provided we can keep our airport going, that we could do something for a larger airport with larger runways, a larger facility, possibly something that could bring in corporate aviation, where people could come into our city for larger businesses. I believe that would only help the city of Portage. Support our city of Portage completely. I support the airport. I would like to say in finishing that each and every person that's here tonight, I appreciate your time. Easy, it's kind of a damp night, be a nice night to be home, but you're here. Support the city of Portage, and we don't take that lightly. We appreciate it, and I thank each one of you very much. And I thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak and support the city that we all love. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Blystone. Anyone else? This is this, not yet? Go ahead. Okay, all right. For the second time, does anyone wish to speak at the public hearing? For the third time, does anyone wish to speak at the public hearing? Thank you very much. That is the end of the public hearing. We will now call the order for the Airport Commission meeting for this evening. Roll call.
Thank you, sir.
Larry Clements,
Here.
Chris Crawley,
Here.
Adam Gazipian, Jamie Hayes,
Here.
Dennis Knockreiner,
Here.
David Tesh. Any public comments?
what? We're missing Bill Cutsky.
Oh, wait. Not on here. Bill Kutsky
Members list. Missed it.
and
Not on
Dennis Knockreiner. At this time, has anyone filled out any paper for public comment for the commission? Move on to the approval of the meeting minutes from March 15th. Have you read them and have you any comments? Yes, Chris.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from March 15th.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second. Dennis Knockreiner. We'll take a roll call on that. Chris Crawley,
Aye.
Adam Gazapian, Jamie Hayes,
Abstain.
Dennis Knockreiner.
Aye.
David Tesh.
Aye.
Bill Kutsky.
Aye.
Motion is carried. The introduction of new commission members. We have,
Skipped Larry Clements.
okay, I did skip Larry Clements. Myself, I, and Larry Clements. Okay.
Aye.
Okay. Minutes are approved. And the next is the introduction of the new commission members.
So we are joined here tonight by new Alderman Jamie Hayes, as well as Adam Gazapian. Yourself to the rest.
Want me to go first? Okay. So my name is Jamie Hayes. I live in District 1. That's who I represent. I've been working with city government for about 2 years, but newly elected. I have 3 children, all grown out of the house, and 1 granddaughter.
What interests you in the airport?
I think it's a staple. It's something that Portage needs, one way or another, either a new airport or something. We need an airport. We need to keep one here. So. And I know citizens want more jobs. So.
I'm Adam Gazapian.
Please speak in the mic.
I'm Adam Gazapian. I live on Pine Ridge Court. I have an airplane at the airport. I'm rather active there. I have a business just outside of town in the town of Lewiston. Employ several dozen people. Here, I think the airport, in again, one form or fashion, is a good thing for the city. I think we need to plan, but I think the airport is vital moving forward for Portage.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is to elect a vice chairman. The current vice chairman is Bill Kutsky. Bill, do you want to say anything?
No.
No?
No, I mean,
Looking for nominations here.
Dennis?
I'll nominate Bill Klutsky.
We have a second? Well, let's take a vote on that.
No, there can be other nominations besides.
Anyone else? Chris?
David.
David Tesh? Okay, we have two. Any others? Okay. What's the procedural for this?
So we will call the roll. You will be voting for Bill or David. So you will state their name. Zapian.
Bill.
Hayes.
Bill.
Nachreiner.
Bill.
Tesh. Kutsky. Erath.
Bill Kutsky.
Clemens. Crawley.
Okay. Congratulations. Thank you, Bill. As far as setting, the next item on the agenda is setting a meeting time and day. We have been going with the third Wednesday of the month at 5:30. I will entertain any comments. Yes.
My preference would be we leave it right where it's at.
Any others?
Mhm.
Seems to
where
be,
it's at.
seems to be kind of a consensus. I think we should leave it where it's at. The next item is the discussion and possible recommendation of Resolution 23-13 petitioning the Secretary of Transportation for airport improvement aid. Bill?
So as per direction from the March 15th Airport Commission meeting, staff worked with the BOA on assembling the included petition package to obtain federal funding for projects included. These projects include rehabilitation of runways, replacement/relocation of threshold end lights, relocation of the fuel facility, and construction of taxiways and tie-down locations. We're looking for recommendation from this commission to be brought forward to council. The full petition package is included in the meeting packet for reference. This outlines the projects we are petitioning for, as previously mentioned, as well as stating that all funding received for projects must meet the airport owner assurances or deemed useful life project components of the revised law.
Discussion?
Of that 5-year capital plan, how much of that and how long does that city reimbursement go out to?
So it depends on the work that is going to take place. So also included in the packet is a breakdown of those funding requirements for each item up for everybody's view. So any pavement rehabilitation would need to be in place for 10 years. However, asphalt, seal coat, slurry sealing, or joint sealing is only airfield lighting and signage would be 10 years. Navigational aids or weather reporting equipment would be 15 years. Buildings would be 40 years. However, we're not requesting any funding for buildings. Land would be unlimited.
This an all or nothing thing, or can it be piecemeal? Can you pick certain things out of that, or must we take all of those items that were identified?
We would have to recommend all items identified. Otherwise, we would have to.
Adam, I think that list that's a plan. We can change that 6 months from now. This isn't etched in stone. That means what we're gonna do for positive. As money becomes available, and we decide what we're gonna do for the airport and whatnot. This plan can be revolving, ever revolving, all the time. So it isn't like it's etched in stone. Yeah, I mean, we have to have a plan going forward for the borough, but we can change that plan all the time.
That is just the useful life of each project that we're petitioning for. Our 5-year capital plan has rehabilitate runways or crack sealing in 2023, replacing and relocating runway threshold end lights in 2023, relocating a fuel facility in 2024, and then constructing those taxiways in 2026.
Do you know what the useful life is for the fuel facility?
Fuel facility, that would be deemed,
15-year?
I believe that would be all construction projects unless listed separately below. So that would be
Okay.
What we're really doing is moving the existing facility. It's not a plan to upgrade it or take it into if we're building a new airport, we probably put the tanks underground. We certainly probably add jet fuel. But the issue is that we've got to put the existing stuff someplace else because it's a little too close to the runway.
It was my understanding that we were going to get new tanks. Are we using the same equipment that's currently there, including, there's a new?
I don't have a view about that. I thought we were going to end up moving the tanks that we have today.
It was my understanding we were going to get newer, larger tanks, which is that capital investment that would give us that 20 years.
So part of this process is obviously if we were to accept that federal funding, the BOA or the FAA would take over the design concept for all these projects, put their requirements on them. So they would kind of dictate whether or not new tanks installed or if the existing tanks. My experience, my guess would be we would be looking at.
What has to meet the current standards that they set, that BOA sets?
The tanks could be moved to a future location if they're above ground tanks.
If that meets the BOA standards.
Yes.
If you need to meet and discuss it, you can change what your project is next year. You have 2023 states locked in. But if you want to discuss it over and take different priorities first, you can do that. We have no issue with one of those projects that are all for Mark. The other thing is on the question of fuel tanks, that's something we could probably do Mark, email or call. If you want to confirm it for sure on the years, we could get that the next day, but I know it's not up there. It's kind of vague on what it is. It'd be nice to know, call them and say, hey, what is it? Then we could let it know, and let people know exactly what it is. So we've never asked them. I didn't ask them. Sorry.
Any other questions or comments?
Just a question. Do you have a view about the tanks that we're using right now? We're operating with them.
They're old.
But they contain the product safely. There's double containment. It's operational. I don't see anything wrong with the tanks now. There's a competitive disadvantage for the city or the operator to use them because they can't buy enough bulk product to make it efficient as compared to other airports. But I don't know if there'd be I don't know if there'd be be hard to justify 20 years, in my opinion, justify 20 years on new fuel tanks.
unless you could move them.
Unless you could move them. But again, the thing would be, you're talking about if you were to do it now and say a new airport was put in 15 years, just an example. The standards between now and 15 years, especially in the energy and petroleum equipment, the changes are so rapid, especially with technology. I don't think they would meet the standards in 15 years. I mean, if you look at gas stations, they're updating those pumps and meters, and sometimes 18 months, you see them come in and they'll put new card readers in, and next time you come back to the gas station, they're doing work again. And I think, you know, that would be something to consider is, you know, is that fuel farm needed? You know, could we just move the existing equipment? It is old. But we're,
A comment to that, and then I know Eric, tanks, correct me if I'm wrong, are 1,000 gallons, but they're only 800 usable. Is that 800 gallons usable? Which for most of the year, 51 weeks out of the year is going to be fine, but during the week of EAA, we run out of gasoline. It puts us at a distinct disadvantage to other airports in the area for people flying through.
but if it's just that 1 week,
Yes.
and I've offered up my equipment, we could legally put a mobile truck on the field to not dispense directly into aircraft, but to dispense into the existing permanent equipment and then run through that meter. And that would eliminate that 1 week need. And, you know, I think that would satisfy that EAA push, which I think the EAA will become, with that new route that they have proposed running up I-39, Portage will get rather busy, I believe.
Eric?
Yeah, I'd like to just say that there's a rumor, a misnomer about us running out of fuel. We have never run out of fuel during the EAA. We did at the last day on Sunday. I ordered a load from Crawford. They came within a half an hour, filled it up, and he was the last guy into Oshkosh. So we really didn't like run out of gas, and we're sitting a day or two without it. But there isn't a concern with Crawford is going to be discontinuing their low lead 100 service after October. So I did get to say that he would supply us during the EAA this year. So this year's not a problem. You know, if you're talking about running out of gas or anything. And the last thing too is the tanks. I know Adam's talking about the technology of fuel pumps always changing, but the tanks, I don't know if they will be out of, if you decide to move the airport, I don't know if it's 15 years, if they'll be not compliant or not. That is something that,
How much do these tanks cost? I mean,
I have no
pick a
clue.
number, Adam. What-
The vessel themselves is probably, if we're talking about 1,000-gallon single wall tank, which is what is there, you're probably looking at $1,500 to $2,000 brand new. But I don't think that a new system would allow that single wall, because the containment system that's there is a concrete containment system, and that needs to have well,
That is the second wall.
it is the second wall, but the problem is nothing separates the water. Like today, did you drain the water from the rain out?
Not today, wait until.
So-
the other day.
How much rain did we get? Now, would it be overflowing with fuel? That's the problem, where a double containment system is
The
self.
point of the question is, for what it will cost us to build a new airport. We're starting to quibble about $5,000 worth of tanks. We ain't looking at the big picture, folks. If we buy them and 3 years later, we are able to get the funding source for a new airport, I mean, we're gonna go out and build a $20 million airport, and we're gonna start arguing about $2,000 worth of tanks. So I think that becomes a mute issue. If we need new tanks, we buy new tanks and let the chips fall wherever they fall. It doesn't seem to be a waste of money to me.
The only thing I see is after October, if Crawford goes out of business and not selling the low lead 100, you're gonna have a hard time getting someone to deliver 800 gallons.
All around yet.
Yep, I think we're getting off topic of the petition package and focusing on actual fuel operations at the current airport. Let's keep focus and stick on what we're here to discuss.
Any other comments about
Yeah.
the petition?
That is part of the monies that we have at basically zero match. Am I correct on that?
So we do have a portion of the funding available to us at zero match. It would be up to us at a later date to determine what funds are going to be used for which projects.
But on most projects, it would be, our share would be 5, but this one could be 0.
Correct.
Match. We decided at the end of the year, we discussed what's next year. And then we'll go from there. Okay. So most of
Dennis?
I'm going to make a motion that does this have to go to council, Phil?
Yes, it
That
does.
we recommend to council approval of resolution 23-13 petitioning the Secretary of Transportation for airport improvement aid.
Do we have a second? Chris? We have a motion before us to proceed with the petition as stated. We'll take a vote here. Let's start with Adam.
Should ask for any discussion.
Is there any other discussion?
All right, I will call the roll. Hayes,
Abstain.
Nachreiner,
Aye.
Tesh. Kutzke. Erath,
Aye.
Clemens. Aye. Crowley,
Aye.
Zapian.
Motion has carried. Thank you. Now the staff report.
So what we wanted to do, we wanted to let the record show that we want to formally thank Dan Hibner for his service on this commission since 2016. We'll be sending a letter to Mr. Hibner stating the following. Mr. Hibner, this letter is an appreciation of your service as a citizen member of the Portage Airport Commission from April 2016 to April 2023. During your term as citizen member, the city has benefited from your involvement on this commission. Both staff and commission members thank you for your service, dedication, and commitment to furthering the quality of the Portage Municipal Airport and its users. Please know that you are considered a friend of the Portage Municipal Airport and are welcome at any time. I'd also like to add that in my time assisting the Airport Commission, Dan has been a great asset to me at times by showing his support in me personally, but as well as relating to me on navigating a room full of pilots at times. For this, I thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan. I hope you're listening. Next on the agenda is the airport manager report.
I think you all got my report. I don't think there's too much that's left out, or if there's, with the operations, it was down a little bit in operations simply because it was a crappy month. But has anybody got any comments or questions for me? I think it's all here in the.
Hearing none.
You.
We will move on to discussing the next meeting date is May 17th at 5:30. Next, we need someone to make a motion for adjournment. Larry? Can I have a second? Second is Chris. And we will start with Jamie,
Aye.
Dennis,
Aye.
David, Bill.
Aye.
I vote aye. Larry?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Adam?
Aye.
Motion carried. We are adjourned.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Have a nice evening. See
Oh,
you next
short and
month.
Sweet.
That's my phone.